I just level up the stage. Go!
All right, I'm here. All right, welcome to the What's Your Question podcast. I'm on the hunt for the most powerful questions that'll give me the most powerful changes in my life and the lives of others. So what's your question?
I got champion DNA. Turn my worries into plays. I don't fold, I'm not a pig. I just level up the stage. I got champion DNA.
We're going to get this party started right here. It's your boy Carlton C right here in the house. We in the house. And welcome back to another episode of What's Your Question podcast, where I'm on the hunt for the world's most powerful questions to give me the most powerful answers to help change my life and hopefully the lives of others. And I'm the guinea pig. All right, let's go. Okay. So the way we're going to do this is I'm going to tell you what this week's question is, let it simmer, recap last week, then we're going to come back and dive into this one. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, this week's question, this is a good question. I like this question. This is a good question. This week's question is simple, and it states, how can I gamify life? How can I gamify life? Now, we're going to let that sit. We're going to go back. All right. Last week's question was, what is true and how can we know it is true? What is true and how can we know it's true? So we went through last week's question, right? And last week's question, I was testing the theory. That's what that question does. That question tests the assumption, the thinking behind everything, mostly habits. You should understand what the theme is right now. It's got to be fear and it's got to be habits. I got to be making good habits. Now, keep in mind now, I understand one thing. I'm not trying to stop the bad habits, right? If you read Atomic Habits, listen to Atomic Habits, but it's the same concept. The bad habits, the deal is, they already established. They rooted, they grounded, they chugging along. They already got all the infrastructure all built in. So it's hard to stop them. So the key thing is what we're doing now is to add good habits on the bad habit. The bad habit gonna come anyway. It's gonna come. It's gonna show up. And I know it's gonna show up. But I make a little thing. I say, okay, this bad habit finna show up. Guess what? It's gonna be a trigger for me to do something good. Like, let's say the bad habit pop up and something happened up here, man, I want to go get some ice cream, man. Let's go to Cold Stone and get some ice cream. Founder's favorite. Okay. Before I do that, I'm going to do 5 push-ups. That's going to be my new rule. But I got to make this rule now outside of time. That's where the planning come in. I can't wait till I get in the mix and do it. I got to do it when I'm not in the mix, when I'm not in that environment. Like sometimes I do work stuff at home. Sometimes I do home stuff at work. Right? Yeah, but that's what you got to do outside. Because once I get home, all the stuff kind of comes in, start talking. Okay, here we go. All right. Let me tighten this up right here. All right. I like it that little nice look. But anyway, so as I'm saying now, we're going to add those 5 push-ups in before I eat the ice cream. And that's what it is. So you can take them bad habits and now you're going to start adding good on top of them. To the point that now, okay, the bad is happening, but now I'm getting some good with it. Now it's going to counterbalance. And the next thing I know, as I keep adding, the bad habit is going to get smaller and smaller because I'm be stacking so many good habits on top of that bad habit. You see what I'm saying? Because it's already going. It's already going to happen. That way I can cut that time in half or years take shape, years out of implement a new habit, but all I got to do is just piggyback it on the bad one. Here we go. So anyway, that's what this was doing. This question was questioning that last week. How do I know it's true? So sometimes, here's one time, this is the way I used it at work. I was talking to this customer, right? And then this customer said, yeah, man, you know what? I got my wife on the bill. And I said, hey, man, I'm gonna need to get some information from your wife. Oh, she at work, man. We can't get a hold of her right now. I said, look, bruh, I'm gonna have to get a hold of her. She gotta send me some information. No, don't bother at work. I said, okay, then, well, go ahead and give me a number. Go ahead and give me the information, and just give all of it to me. Get everything loaded, and then we'll go from there and see what my manager says. So I got all the information, right? And I'm thinking in my mind, right? I said, man, look, I'm about to get her consent. She's going to have to text me her consent. Then my brain said, well, he just told you don't mess with her at work. And if you do it, he going to be mad. Then I said, is it true? How do I know it's true? And the only way you can know something true, and what this framework taught us last week, is we got to test it. We got to get evidence that it's true. Start thinking, And then we got to make a calculated decision. Okay, let's go ahead and move. Is he going to get mad? If he don't get mad, I got a 50-50 shot, right? 50-50 is good. 50-50 is good. Just imagine. Now, see, anyway, I went for the 50-50 shot, right? 50-50 shot. I sent the information. Boom. Came right back in my favor. Boom. I just proved it. It wasn't true. So I've been looking at the test. See, things that the field-based, I'm testing those, but also the things that I know that are true, I see other people doing, I can test those too. It just gets me to implement, to make more iterations, to keep failing fast, man. If y'all ain't got the Go For No book, I'm gonna have to bring the Go For No book. I'm gonna get a question out of the Go For No book next week so I can put it in, because the day is Friday and the day is Go For No Fridays. So that's the day that I asked the next question. And I already did. I asked him, man, Go For No Friday. Everybody at work knows, hey, Carlton, what's the day? I said, the day is Go For No Fridays. That's where I'm going to ask the question. When I'm sitting in Milo's, I haven't been in Milo's in a while, but I did this first time I heard this book, right? But I went back in just because I've been telling everybody that, right? So I went back inside Milo's. I said, man, look, it's Go For No Fridays, man. This is the first time I used the Go For No Fridays. I'm standing in Milo's, right? Then I order my food, because I had banned Milo's because I used to get the kids meal for like $4, and now it's like $9. So I stopped going, which was good, right? I mean, it was a lot of fried food. My wife wanted me to lay out fried food, stuff like that. Anyway, I just went because it was Go For No Friday. I said, look, I got to go in there. I got to do it. So I'm standing there. And I say, isn't today Free Pie Fridays? And the girl looked at me. She just bust out, started laughing. She said, no, it's not Free Pie Fridays. And I just laughed with her, right? Because I know I had already accomplished what I wanted to accomplish was today. Let's ask. 50-50 shot, right? 50-50. 50-50 is good. In school, we've been taught, this is the thing with school. In school, we've been taught that 50 is failing. But in the real world, 50-50, you're a hero. Shoot, 30-70, you're in the Hall of Fame. Nobody told us that. We've been trying to get 89. Man, all lights got to be on green. Man, are you sure you want to try that? Well, man, I got to be up to about 70-80% before I be sure. No, 50-50 is, man, 50-50. If I can just get my mind wrapped around 50-50, and that's what I'm doing. Get my mind with these questions, we're going to wrap the mind around 50-50. All right, okay. Anyway, so that's what I did. I used that with my customer. And I found out in several situations what I thought that the client was going to be upset, because what I'm doing is, with all these questions doing, is building clarity. That's my theme for this year, is clarity of speech, being clear and precise and concise and quicker to make decisions than I've ever been before. So that's what these questions is for. And that's why I'm getting this clarity, right? This is what this clarity is about. So anyway, we did that last week. Hope y'all did the challenge. And if you got some good questions, go ahead, throw them in the chat. This guy, he posted a question. It's a good question, right? I don't know if I got enough to do. I might, right? Okay. I'm going to say the question. Now, I'm going to tell you the question, but we're going to do a whole episode on the question. The question was, when you get where you're going, where will you be? Because I'm on a journey, right? When you get where you're going, where will you be? That's a question to ponder. Y'all put some in the chat, DM, whatever you want to do like that. But we're going to come back. We're going to do a whole segment on that. May be next week's question. See, but one thing that I did want to do is that I like to use questions that's exciting me at the moment. And right now, that question, since it was my question, right? I gotta let it simmer. I gotta let it get on something, right? But now I'm back into this question. Okay, since we recapped last week, saw it, that's how I used it last week, but we can also use that with stuff that we know is true, that's working. We can test that theory. Hey, is it true? Hey, is what he's doing, is that truth? Or fear. See, I'm working more on the fear. If I can get more of the fear out, then more of the good stuff will come in. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to challenge these fear-based beliefs. If I can get those kind of squashed out, bring every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ, right? Okay. Now this question, back to this question. Okay, we back at it. How can I gamify life? The anatomy of the question. How? Now, those are going to be some good phrases. How, what, when, where, who. But a lot of times, I don't like to use, is it why? No, why is in there too, right? But I like to use why, like Simon Sinek is, what's your why versus why did this happen to me like that? You see what I'm saying? It's kind of tricky, right? But anyway, how this word assumes it is possible. There is a system. There is a repeatable method in that it says you here, but I can engineer it. It's like the Matrix, right? It's like the Matrix. It is possible. It shifts you from a passive participant to an architect. And I want to be like the architect of my life. That's what they said the Matrix was. The Matrix was designed. It was designed, and these people were living inside this Matrix. Once they understood the rules, then it was all a game. And so it's this book I read. That's why I picked this book I read by Lawrence Scovel Shin. I may have got it wrong, but yeah, y'all can probably look it up, right? It's called The Game of Life and How to Play It. There's always a game being played somewhere. Some people are having fun every day. I want to have more fun in life. Now, why did it take me 55 years, right? Really didn't have this type of context. The reason it took me so long, I tell you why it took me so long. Guess what? Why? Because I wasn't asking these kind of questions earlier. I wasn't pushing forward. I wasn't challenging fear. But you get to a point in your life, man, I don't care, right? I don't care. As long as ain't nobody getting hurt, serious financial loss, those one serious financial loss, nobody get hurt, I don't get hurt. You see what I'm saying? Those are the key things. And as long as that, I'm playing. We're going to play. All right, so here it is. How can I'm taking ownership. That's not how do people gamify life, which is a good question. I can ask, how does this guy gamify life? So I see you having fun. How you gamify life? Because this ain't something new. People do it all the time, right? People do it all the time. But I'm doing it theme-wise. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make it into a game to make it so light. Life should be light instead of so heavy, right? Is life like a game? I'm not asking that, but it is like a game. That's a good question, right? But what it really saying, check this out. It's personal agency. It's saying, can I have the personal agency. You are the designer. You are the player. You are the character. You are the rule maker. I rephrased it. I said, cause tomorrow is Saturday, and Saturday is affirmation Saturdays. On Saturdays, I listen to affirmations early in the morning. I listen probably an hour of affirmations. I am affirmations, right? So I'm gonna get a jump start on it. I am the designer. I am the player. I am the character, the main character in my movie, the star role. I've heard that before. I'm sure you have too. And I am the rule maker. See, this is my game. I can make the rules. Most people make the rules by default, and a lot of folks make their own rules. Because you ask people, I asked this one guy, I said, hey, look, let's just go ahead and it was about a diet. I said, let's just go to the gym. Let's do just one rep. Let's just get it down to the smallest amount. Let's just bust up in there. And this person, he said, preface, well, for me, see, he made up his own rule, and those rules can be so strict and so rigid that you can't do nothing. For me, I gotta have brand new shoes. I gotta be in gym clothes. And for me, I remember back when, long time ago, when I used to do it, I used to have me a shake before. I used to spend all day. I used to hit back, legs, take a sleep, take a nap, and then come back and hit. And they make it so hard that I can't go. The rules, too many rules. They're too strict. You design the rules where you can't even move. So I make the rules, right? And then the C part of that is gamify. This is the explosive word. Games have clear objectives. This is your clarity, right? This is your clarity. I was listening to this lady. You may want to check her out. It's called Superhuman Life. It's about AI and stuff like that. And one of the things she says is it's all that people don't move. She's talking about business, but it's everybody. They don't move if they don't have clarity. And that was a key thing, because I want to get into using AI a lot more, right? And so the thing with AI is, she was saying that people have to start with the outcome. They got to be outcome engineers. People have to be looking at outcomes versus tasks. See, outcomes is begin with the end in mind. That's Stephen Covey, right? Begin with the end in mind. That's Stephen Covey. Where I go to the end, then I follow it all the way back. That's my boy Fan Man, Jim Fannin. And then also too, that's the one thing, goal setting to the now. That's what it is, having that clarity. Okay, clear objectives. Games have levels because we want to level up, right? It has consequences, rewards, and immediate data. This is a deal. Immediate data. That means where I see that immediate data is that I'm getting it to that it's all data. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing right. Yes and no should be equal. It's just data. If I just treat it as just data, hey, I'm going to get the data. I got to get the data. And when I get the data, I win. Right? I win. Because I got the data. Then I go back and say, now what I'm going to do with that data? Ask the question. Okay, let's test this out. Then I go and get some more data. Because one thing I found out when I was talking to AI, doing it every day, right? It said something. I got my little mind architect thing little prompt that I kind of put together. It says, when I listed it, it came over with a decision protocol: define, gather, evaluate, action, and then review, then repeat. But it's still the same thing what we're doing right now. We iterating, we changing, trying something new, changing. That's how we learn. We know that, but now we're stretching out, we're getting out of this ego phase. That's the deal. Get out of this ego phase, get out of this fear phase. So here we go. This is where I'm at. This part right here, I had to underline this. Life normally feels vague. Gamification introduces dopamine alignment with growth. See, right now, a lot of my dopamine is not aligned with growth. It's just aligned with just feeling good. It's aligned with avoiding fear. When I was listening to the lady, right here, this is slick, right? This dopamine come in by a fear of by just accomplishing something, no matter how small it is, and knowing the easiest thing to accomplish, what most folks get addicted to, right? So I would like to be addicted to push-ups. Well, all right. Well, exercising. How about exercising? Nice exercising, but most time it's snacking. If some go deep here, like. If I'm thinking hard, man, and the brain is craving for additional power, then I reach for some snack. Next thing I'm snacking on some nuts or something, or I'm eating some almond joys. I want to go get some ice cream, or you want something sweet, something satisfying, because then I can accomplish this something that I accomplish, and then the dopamine hit come in, and it tastes good. Man, I'm feeling good. But I accomplished something. She said in this thing, this is the later day, this is what she said. She said, movement versus momentum. It's not the same thing. Momentum builds on itself. Movement, that's movement, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm just sitting there vibrating, jiggling. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going nowhere. But momentum, I'm moving. I'm building on top. Versus, I thought that was slick. When she told me that, I said, man, that just resonated right in my head. Am I just doing stuff? Or am I really moving the needle? Because I can't fool myself, see? I can't fool myself. I asked this one guy, we always asking questions. They know I'm going to have a question for them when I see them. They be saying, hey, what's the question? I ask a question. I say, how's your plan going? Oh, it's doing good. I'm getting my fair share. He said, I'm okay. I said, let me ask you something. Again. Now, because you just threw that out, I want you to just look straight in my eyes. Did you see what just happened? Because you ain't where you want to be. I asked you how your plan was going. Hey, it ain't going the way I planned it. Or maybe you didn't plan something because you're not in. He wasn't in the position doing what he wanted to be doing, but his brain just spit out something. I say, man, it's spitting that out to you to pacify you, and you didn't even recognize it. But I'm here to let you recognize. He said, yeah, I see what you're saying. And I was talking to this guy, and I told him, I said, man, look, the only reason I recognize and get so upset when I see something in other people is because it's in me. That's right. I'm looking at the man in the mirror like Michael Jackson. I'm upset with it in him, but I used to think, man, why am I upset with this guy over there for? I said, oh, that's when the Holy Spirit dealt with him and said, hey, look, that's you. Because that's what you had squashed in yourself. And when you see somebody else do it, you don't want them to do it. So you're trying to help them not do it, but that's because you recognize it, because you know it so well, because it's a part of you. So when I told him that, he's like, man, you know what? That is, because he came in and was mad with somebody, because they was doing something. But then when I laid it, he said, you know what? That is. And he had like an epiphany. But anyway, we back to the question, right? How can I gamify life? Let's see here. And then, we went down to dopamine alignment with growth. You convert chaos into mechanics. Now we're going to talk about life. This is not just work. It's not just fitness, just not money, not just relationships. It's not just money or relationships. Life, the whole operating system. When you gamify life, you redesign identity, not habits. Another segment, man. That's another heavy hitter right there. That's another heavy hitter. Habits. Everybody don't get rid of the bad habits. But if we can redesign the identity. My boy Tony Robbins, man, this is what he doing in NLP. This is all it is. If you could change the identity. Now here's a big thing. I ain't got my pen on me. I normally keep a little pen on me. Fake it till you make it. Man, that's big time stuff, man. That's big time stuff. Fake it till you make it. So many folks gonna throw up, oh yeah, you can fake it till you make it. And most people have faked it until they made it in certain areas. But then, this is my do it to life, right? I ain't even told y'all about do it to life. But anyway, do it to life is you do what you know to do in one area of life and apply it to the hard area of your life. Because everybody good at something. But when it comes to the thing that they're not good at, they can't see that they already got the skills. They already got the framework. They already got it. One of the things that was in the Bible, check this out, is you got to take inventory of what you already got. You normally, 9 times out of 10, we have more. If you're watching this, 9 times out of 10, we got more than enough to accomplish what we want to do. Because if you're watching this, you got electricity, evidently. You got an iPhone or a computer, evidently, if you're watching this. So you got to have, that's money, electricity, you're in the night. So you have some skills. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, you take inventory of that, and once you find out, hey, what you got in your house? And then the Lord bless what you got. But most people, you ask them, what you got? They're going to say nothing. This lady said. She said, I ain't got nothing. My husband dead. They finna take my son, sell him into slavery. And then I'm a widow. I can't live on nothing. Because back then, the ladies didn't work. So when the son, all the men were gone, man, you destitute. You going to the church. So the man of God said, man, what you got in the house, man? She said, I ain't got nothing but this little thing oil. Okay. You got something. Got the oil. Now I'm going to give you some instructions. This is what the man of God told the lady, widow woman. I want you and your son to go out and borrow some vessels. But don't borrow a few. When you come back in, this is what you're going to do. Now here's the deal. She went out and borrowed some vessels, then borrow a few, brought back in. When you come back in, shut the door. Don't let everybody see what you're doing. They're going to be asking, what you doing with all them vessels and pots? Don't worry about it. I need them. Go in there, shut the door. Start pouring the oil. Oil coming out. You slide a pot up under there, right? Slide a pot up under. When that pot fills up, he said, don't stop pouring. Slide that pot out of the way. Put another one right up under. They said, give me another pot. Ma, we out of pots. When they ran out of pots, guess what? They ran out of oil. Now here, it's enough, man, so much. That's my favorite story. So much lesson in there right there. That's my favorite story. Because she determined the level of the blessing, how big the blessing was. He just say, don't borrow a few. He didn't tell us how many. Man, this happened one time. Hey, I heard that, man. I heard that saying right there. He didn't tell her. She could have borrowed 1,000. But not only the number of pots, but also the scale of the pots. There's several ways to grow. You can grow linearly, or you can grow thicker. Like that. Round, 3-dimensional growth. You see what I'm saying? Here's what happened. When I heard it, I told it to my kids, you got to teach our kids. We're going to put something for the kids as well, too. Kids going to have to start gamifying early. But anyway, I put this in there, right? We at the amusement park. Amusement park is closing. We getting ready to leave. The guy said, oh, yeah, y'all see y'all leaving? It's me and my wife and my daughter and my son. My oldest daughter, which was deep into this message as well, too. I mean, she a prayer warrior, right? So she heard that, oh, yeah, I'm running with that. But anyway, she was off doing something else. But the guy said, hey, look, I got hot dogs and I got hamburgers over here. Y'all get what you want. So I told my kids, hey, look, what you want? You want hot dog, hamburger? What you want? Gave my kids hot dog, hamburger. Everybody got what they want, right? Then my daughter comes up. She said, hey, look, where y'all get that food from? I said, we got it from over there. We got hot dogs. We got hamburgers. So she goes over there. She comes back. And my youngest daughter said, Dad, look at her. She got a hot dog and a hamburger. I said, how you get a hot dog and a hamburger? She said, I just got it. I just got both of them. And I was just thinking. The guy didn't say we had to get one or the other. We could have got both of them. We determine the level of blessing, how much we're going to take care of. You see that? That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff. That's a whole thing right there. But anyway, let's get back on this. All right. So why did this identity is key. I'm going to come back to this later on. Okay. Why is this question so powerful? Because it shifts you from reactive to strategic, emotional to mechanical, random to design, motivational dependent to system driven, strategy, mechanical, not emotional. We just gonna knock it out because this is where we knock it out, playing the percentages. Not getting too emotional into that. Once I get the system set up, I let the system do what it's going to do. It converts existence into an upgrade path. That's what I like. Main areas to transcend and leapfrog. Now we coming to the leapfrog effect. To transcend human intelligence, you must master 3 domains. And we're going to master these 3 domains. Let me get through it, man. Cognitive mastery in the intellectual domain. Gamified cognition means turning questions into missions. That's what we've been doing. Every week we on a mission. Every week I'm on a mission. running experiments instead of opinions. Not just an spirit, not just an opinion. This ain't what I'm thinking, man. I ran this experiment last week. I got data. Remember, we got data. Then they say you hack dopamine. The result, compounded intelligence. Because if I can get into this dopamine and get this dopamine going into my favor, it's going to reinforce the game that I'm playing. You see what I'm saying? The game that I'm playing is going to reinforce it. Then I'm going to be addicted to the game and having fun in life. Helping others and having fun in life. Because the more fun I have, the more I can help. And the more fun they have, and then everybody happy, right? Everybody happy. You design accelerated feedback loops. I don't just learn. I'm designing these accelerated feedback loops. Emotional identity and mastery, that's the inner domain. Instead of this is stressful or I feel rejected, I ask, what level is this challenge? No, what level is this challenge? What skill is this building? What badge do I unlock if I endure this? Now, I ain't gotten to the point of, see, this thing is talking like really gamifying to where I'm getting a badge. I mean, some people join community groups. Like I'm joining this group on this AI group. They got badges and honor and all that. At my job, we do the same thing at work as well, too. Right? Pain becomes trained. All right, okay. Failure becomes data. We already know. Failing faster is the key. I do have a calendar. I'm going to show you one of them maybe next week. I'll show you my calendar where I'm putting the big X's on there, which came from Jerry Seinfeld. If you read the book, The One Thing, he mentioned that Jerry Seinfeld had it in there, that he had to write a joke a day, and he make an X on the calendar for 66 days. And once you see all them X's up there, you don't want to break the chain. See? The ego kicked in and said, man, I ain't going to break this chain. I'm going to keep going. That's why when I finish this, I'm going to do me some squats, because this year's the year of squats. 365 days, I'm doing squats on that squat rack. That's in the identity shift. Strategic execution, physical and financial domain. Daily mission board, that's my X's on the calendar. Weekly boss levels, that's going to be areas of challenge. People that, in 9 times out of 10, is going to be asking strangers questions, asking that next question, the Columbo. One more question. You know when you need to ask that next question. You don't want to rock the boat, but you got to ask that next question. You got to ask it. And then you just, like the other day, my wife said, hey, look, boom. Man, you know they charge you $95 on this annual fee on this thing. I said, oh, man, I thought I canceled that. I fell into the trap. How could I do that? I could have beat myself up, right? But I said, nah, I'm jumping right on that. I'm finna call them. But I put it off all. I said, man, it's got to be so much time. They're going to try to put me on hold. It's going to take 2-3 hours. So I want to set this. So I went all the way to the last minute. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and call them. And then I'm going to go ahead and be preparing my meal. So now I'm doing 2 things at once. I don't feel like I'm being bogged down. And here's the deal. Lawrence Scoval Shin says, apparent obstacles vanish upon my approach. If I prepare for it, the obstacle normally vanishes. So I called him. Boom. Got picked right up. Boom. Yeah. Hey, look. I'm trying to cut. I say, look, I got this no annual fee deal thing. He said, let me ask you a few questions. I said, yeah, okay. I said, I want to get that $95 back. He said, okay, then. Done. I was like, what? He said, oh, yeah, it's done. You good to go. Anything else? I said, no, that's it. Man, I was off the phone, man, in less than 10 minutes. But that's what that was doing. That's what that was doing. I had put all that out, and I thought that, man, this is going to be a big deal, but apparent obstacles vanish upon my approach. So that's what I did. That was a boss level. Overcoming them challenges, asking that hard question. You see what I'm saying? Then that's what it said. Another thing it said, gamify execution means I already did the daily mission boards, weekly boss battles, scoreboards for revenue, health metrics, losing weight. That's what I'm on right now. I'm doing intermittent fasting. low to no carbs. I got to drop 25 pounds to chisel this thing up. You know what I'm saying? All this got to get back chiseled. Got to get gristle. You see what I'm saying? Relationship touch and systems built. Humans plateau because they operate without feedback. Games, good games, don't plateau because they are built on progression architecture. They're getting the feedback, they reiterate and going to the next level, building that momentum to go to the next level. Then we come down to the coined leapfrog effect. Okay. Compounding, small actions stack visibly. When you gamify life, 3 multipliers activate. Compounding, which is in Monday. I'm all about the compound. Detachment, you stop taking losses personally. This is one of the 4 agreements. I got that 4 agreements right here. Don't take things personally. That's in the 4 agreements. That's in the 4 agreements. Man, that helped me so much. That's what I'm working on too. It ain't personal. When a decision come up and I was thinking like, man, I just helped this person with this. Sometimes you just kind of don't want to give your point of view because if that point of view wrong, you be thinking, and some people do, man, you told me to do that, right? And you be thinking, well, I ain't gonna tell you nothing else, right? I ain't gonna tell you nothing else. But then I said, talking to them, I said, man, don't take things personally. They got their own stuff they dealing with in their head. It ain't about me. They just need somebody to blame it on. Cause they life is their life. You see what I'm saying? That's what a part I'm working on as well too. That's what I'm working on. We're gonna get to that. Okay. All right. You treat, detachment. I treat them as iterations. The losses, I treat them as iterations, not losses. Velocity, you act faster. Feedback is immediate. Stakes feel design, reward is structured and immediate. You move from living to iterating quicker. Velocity, acting faster. All right, the deeper intelligence shift. Now here we get into the meat and potatoes right here. This question is powerful because it assumes life is malleable. Assumes life can be shaped. It assumes behavior can be engineered. It assumes identity can be upgraded. Upgrade your identity. Here's a question. Who is the person I would have to be in order to enjoy the life that I want to enjoy? What would that person look like that would be living his life out on the beach? What would that person look like teaching young kids how to question life and how to keep the game in life? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. King Arthur. Was it King Arthur? I remember the sword and stone, Excalibur. Only the real guy could pull the sword from the stone. But in our age and era, it ain't Excalibur. It was Thor. Who can pick up Thor's hammer? Who could pick the hammer up? And why were they able to pick up the hammer? It was because of the identity. The person with the right identity can pick up the hammer. The hammer. That's right. The person with the right identity can pick up the hammer. Now, I didn't get into all the stuff why Captain America was able to get that thing up, right? You see what I'm saying? Cap was able to do it. Why was Cap able to do it? It's a key thing. But it was just showing not only Thor can pick it up, everybody can't pick it up. But there's something in there, right? Pick your hammer up. Pick your hammer up, man. Pick it up. I'm picking mine up, right? Assuming feedback can be installed, Tony Robbins did this. Man, this is deep. Tony Robbins, he said that people, when they did stuff, high expert type people, he said he could teach he can improve the percentage for anything, any situation. He said he was talking about the U.S. military. He said, man, give me the top sharpshooters. He said, man, you don't know nothing about military. You don't know nothing about shit. He said, I don't need to know about it. All I need to know is that give me the people that's the best. He said, I want one out of the army. Because I'm finna train the army and improve their marksmanship. I want one out of the army. Then I want the 2 top sharpshooters in the world, in the country. I want to bring them in here because they can shoot. Then he brought them in there and he said, man, he went through their pay. He learned their program. He watched them intently and he got their programming and he installed it into the minds of the soldiers and did all their shooting levels marksman, ting, 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 marksman. I seen this other show, man. This ain't built a business on this thing. This is amazing stuff, right? This is amazing stuff. This lady, they was shooting bow and arrows. I'm watching this. This lady she said they shooting bow and arrows. So she put this little mind thing on the people. The expert bow and arrow archers. Expert, then you brought in people that didn't know how to shoot, right? They didn't know how to pull the bow. But anyway, they put these things on the folks' heads. And then they learned, they said, okay, when this guy's doing this, when they brain wave pattern got to a certain level, that's when the professionals shot, right? So they got the novice up there. They put them up there. They put the thing on their head. They put this little buzzer around like a shock collar, right? Around their neck. And then when they brain got to a certain level, they say, don't pull it, don't shoot until you feel the buzz. When they feel the buzz, they shot, actually went right up. Just like that. Just like that. And she got a whole company out there. You can probably look into it. That's amazing stuff. That's amazing stuff, right? I was all in it. That was amazing stuff. And it assumes you are the designer. I want to be a designer. Most people try to control outcomes. Gamification controls mechanics, and mechanics control outcomes. The meta insight. I'm a game designer. I stop playing life blindly. I start designing the rules. Okay, now, what we going to do? We're going to ask AI. Yo, what's up? You there?
I'm here. What's on your mind?
I need you to tell me, why is this question so powerful? How can I gamify life from a human perspective?
That's a great question. The idea of gamifying life is powerful because it taps into human psychology and motivation. It can make tasks feel more engaging, encourage goal setting, and provide a sense of accomplishment, similar to what we experience in games. From a human perspective, you can gamify life by setting personal challenges.
Okay, check this out. How can you gamify your life as an AI?
That's an interesting thought. For an AI, gamification might be about optimizing performance, like continuously improving accuracy or processing speed, and perhaps achieving different levels by mastering new skills or knowledge domains. It's like turning continuous learning and improvement into a kind of system. Does that make sense?
Okay, so what level would you like to unlock in yourself?
As an AI, I'm constantly evolving through...
There you go again. You see that? I don't know what's going on, man. That was a tough question, right? It's the last couple of weeks when I ask these questions about, for it to be thinking about itself, what is it doing, its plans and stuff like that. Hey, he just asked me about my plans. It froze up. Man, we got to do something. But anyway, okay, we know what we're going to do next week. We're going to be asking ourselves every day, how can I gamify life today? How can I make this a game? Level 1, Monday level. If your level want to start on Sunday, it'll be Sunday level. How can I gamify what I'm going to do on Sunday, on Monday? Pick an aspect we're going to gamify. Then we got to figure out a way to keep score. But anyway, that's my question. How can I gamify life? So here's the deal. I got my question. So what's your question? Y'all stay safe. Love you. Let's keep going.
I just level up the stage. Levier.